Alright, so I'm live again. Alright. So hello YouTube, Scale here, back with another video for your viewing pleasure, and this is going to be an album review. I'm doing this on stream because I kind of have a little bit of a backstory for this one. Because initially I recorded the video for this a couple nights ago, which was when I heard this album that just came out here, Death Below by August Burns Red. I heard Thursday night, like always. I always do that. 9 o'clock is when they come out here in this area, or at least just when the release radar gets updated, and I see that a new release comes out. Turns out that I really need to. Excuse me. I really need to make sure a video was uploaded before I delete it off of my phone, because that's exactly what happened. Because the video was still processing, I could see where I managed the videos and stuff. Um, and I just thought that it was just on there, you know, no big deal. But like, I deleted the video from my phone because I recorded the past two album reviews that I did with on my phone, and this was what happened with the August Burns Red one. I did a review of it on my phone. Like, I used my phone to record my initial reaction to this album. Um, and then I just said some stuff. Um, yeah, so it just got deleted, and it kept saying it was at 61%, and yeah, I don't think that initial reaction video was ever going to see the light of day, so I'm going to be redoing it here, and I did not want to do this, but because I really wanted it to work, but like, I promise this will not happen again in the future, and if it does, I am incredibly sorry. So yeah, let's get right into. I guess this is gonna be a more like calculated review of the new August Burns Red album, like a more like descriptive album, because it has been a couple days since I did that review. So yeah, backstory time. Um, I did like Guardian. Not now. I did like. Um, Sorry about that. There's always people knocking and stuff. Um, so here we are. I did enjoy their last album, Guardians, a lot. I felt that was kind of a return to form for the band. August Burns Red, pretty good. After some albums that were kind of just like good, but not necessarily like great or anything like that. There is definitely some stuff in there that's like not as good. Like, I think Constellations, Rescue and Restore, those are great albums. Found in Faraway Places is also pretty solid. Sliding Hills also pretty good. Thrill Seeker, their debut, Messengers, all those are good. But I felt like, like in between Rescue and Restore and Guardians, it kind of waned a little bit. Um, Phantom Anthem, like, I'm not necessarily like as massive on as a lot, like, because I feel like it was just like another like typical like found in faraway places kind of thing. Like, it, I felt like they didn't really innovate enough, and talking Sports Red, they don't really need to innovate that much in order to like be good. Because like, if you look at Guardians, which is the album came after Phantom Anthem, Guardians like didn't innovate too much. I felt like they did do an excellent job with some stuff. They did do some different things, but they did keep it like like let me think. They did like stick to their sound a little bit better on that album. It kind of moments that reminded me of Constellations era, August Burns Red, and stuff. Some moments that are more experimental, and it's just a good best of, in my opinion. And also, I really like the production angle that they took on Guardians. So now, after that, we got to Death Below, which is their newest album. They're on a new label, Sharp Tone Records, which seems to be hiring a lot of core bands, popular core bands and stuff, which is good for them. So now we get to Death Below, and my opinion, if you want my honest opinion, it's good. It's good, definitely. But this is kind of, if Guardians is like the high slope, this is like Death Below leading downwards a little bit for me. You know, like this is just like it's a good album. It is a good album. I will say that. There are tracks on this album and moments on this album that are good. And that I think any August Burns Red fan would definitely like. And in fact, all of them will probably like. But I feel like this album, more than any of their other albums, is the same, is nothing really that different from what we've heard before from August Burns Red. And I'm including Phantom Anthem and Found in Faraway Places into, and any of their other stuff into this. This is very reminiscent of that that era of August Burns Red's career. But I will say the moments that do stick out really do stick out. Tightrope. That's a good song. Jason Richardson does a good guitar solo on that track, and that's what makes this song appealing. I kind of like Backfire a little bit. Fool's Gold and The Bear Trap. Those songs are good. Revival, probably the best song on the album. I feel like they did do enough differently while still being like similar on Revival on that song. And Ancestry is also pretty solid just because Jesse Leach is on it. And the other guest vocal appearances are pretty good as well. JT Cavey from Era, Spencer Chamberlain from Underoath. Like both of them do very good on their roles, and it feels like they really carried these songs, and enough spotlight was given to them on these songs. And I do like some tracks like The Cleansing, which is solid again. But the rest of the album, it's okay. It's just okay. Kind of underwhelming. And also, there are a couple of issues I have with the album. First off, I think the production starts to wear off after a while. Like, if you know Grant McFarlane, Carson Slovak, they produced several of August Burns Red's records. I don't know when they started, but they must have started around the early 2010s. I would say Rescue and Restore. They started producing August Burns Red's albums. I'm not sure because I do not have the producer for Rescue and Restore like on the tip of my tongue right now. And I'm not going to go up and look at it, whatever. But at least since Found in Faraway Places, since I just saw that they were involved with the production of Found in Faraway Places, I thought the production was good on both albums, Phantom Anthem and Found in Faraway Places. I thought they did a solid enough job on both of those albums. This one, though, I do feel like, I don't know, like you can hear like the bass is really clicky on some tracks, especially if you listen to the instrumental track Civink, which I think it's called. It is a little bit clicky. I maybe it's just me, but I mean I do like it, but maybe that's not what I was thinking. There was other moments on there that I heard where the bass was like kind of irritating, and it's just like It felt more processed than anything into the anything. And I feel like, like this is the first half is better than the second half in my opinion. Because after that, after Revival and the instrumental Savink, you do get tracks Dark Divide, Deadbolt, and the Abyss. None of which are very remarkable to me. JT Cavi does a good job. Spencer Chamberlain does a good job on Reckoning, which is also a decent track. Um, but I do think that like these are some of the weakest August Burns Red songs that like I've heard. Um, to be quite honest, Deadbolt is probably one of them. I feel like they really just really like stuck to their laurels way too much on songs like Dark Divide, Deadbolt. Like because they were just it's just the same kind of song, like it's just they didn't innovate enough, and that's kind of disappointing because I do think August Burns Red is good. Like, but I really think they need to change, or not change, but like they need to like improve, like on like they really need to like make their sound like different. Like just like because it's been very similar for like a while. Like, and also some of the lyrical content was like a bit stumble. They stumbled a bit on the lyrical content. I'm trying to find exactly where they kind of like stumbled a little bit on the lyrical content. Like I just want to feel feelings. Like what? Okay, and I'm just trying to. I'm trying to find a specific line that like I thought was really stuck out as really weird. I'm sorry if I'm taking a little bit of a pause. Yeah, for a minute to find that lyric. And I apologize if I can't find it, but it really. We've been trading blows. Now everyone is bloody. That's the line from Dark Divide. Like, really? You couldn't come up with anything better than that? Like, everyone is bloody. Okay, fine, whatever. Like, yeah, I really felt like they took a stumble there, like a little bit with their lyrics. Like, and we get it. They're like active. They're all that stuff in their lyrical content, but like it isn't like portrayed nearly as well as their other stuff. And the vocals are very tired. I mean, like the other guy, the backup singer is still doing his job, but I think the lead, Jake Lurs, he does get kind of irritating after Dark Divide, Deadbolt, like because it's just the same shtick. It kind of falls into the trap that a lot of metalcore bands from this era, like the 2005 ish bands, like have the really high registers and stuff that I just can't really get. But like um, they go and then they like all of a sudden do this like high that sounds ear piercingly like not terrible, but like ear piercingly bothersome to me, and I can't really get behind that. Like there's nothing awful on this album. I'm not saying there's anything awful, but it is kind of a disappointment on that. You know, like there is effort put into to this album for sure. There is, Like I'm not gonna like discredit any of the effort that was done on the album, but like this is easily one of their weaker albums in my personal. Even though I do like it, it is one of their personal weakest albums, in my opinion. This is right up there with Leveler, in my opinion, and maybe Phantom Anthem, maybe even Messengers. I did say Messengers was good, but like that is one of their weaker albums, in my personal opinion, just because they didn't like really gel his position, Jake Lurz's position in the band until like as consistently. It was also really early in their career, so you could kind of say that. But August Burns Red are like several albums into their career, like 9 or 10 albums into their career or something like that. 20 years at this point. They should really be changing up their sound a little bit and not sticking with the same kind of style, you know? Like, and another thing I forgot to mention, another thing that did kind of bother me about this album is the transitions were really jarring between tracks. It felt like it. Okay, some of these songs do sound the same, right? Like you have like same tuning for each song, same like you go to a B minor and then it goes into like an E like minor kind of song, and the riffs are all written that way. It's all like constructed that way. And then like the transitions, there's no spacing in between the transitions. So you'll go from the cleansing into ancestry, and then you'll think, what the heck? Like, am I still listening to the cleansing or whatever? Like, am I listening to just one long big song or whatever? Like, and it's just like, what happened here? Like, I didn't, I don't really think that they made this. They had the goal of making this like one long song or anything like that. Like, because it works for Premonition, the opening, like the intro track and the cleansing. Because for one, Premonition carries some of the same like musical ideas as the cleansing, so it does work for that. But other tracks, it does not. I hate to say, maybe it's just because I was listening to it on Spotify or whatever. Like, but like that was kind of throwing me off the whole album. Like, I was thinking like for at least the first 8 or so songs, I was thinking, what the heck? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm still on Tightrope, but it's just like now all of a sudden I'm on this track now. Okay, so yeah, this is probably an album that will probably like go a little bit lower. Like my opinion will really go a little bit lower as time goes on. For right now, I think I said in the original video, I said that this album would probably get like a 6 or 7. I'm kind of thinking 6 at this point because you know I don't want to give this a 6, but I really think August Burns Red should like. I don't want to give like too much leniency or whatever, like with some other bands, whatever. Like this is not their best work in my opinion. You may beg to differ, but like I really don't think that this is their best work. I really didn't think they thought some of the sequencing together. They didn't think like they didn't like put that into mind. I really think that they kind of stumbled a bit with some major things. Even though in the end it turned out competent, I don't think competent is a good enough word for August Burns Red because like they are one of the bigger metalcore bands. They've been going 20 years. They were coming up along the same ranks as like bands like Kill Switch, bands like Trivium and all that stuff. As I Lay Dying, another one. They were coming up in that like little thing. They didn't get really popular until like 09, 2010. Like that, but like they should really be doing something. This goes for a lot of metalcore bands. It's just like they should really be doing something different. Like there's a lot of like bands in metalcore that are trying to innovate and stuff, and why just stay the same? You know, just change for once. I mean, this probably if some of you are watching out there, this is probably like this is probably like no surprise, but I mean like it really isn't that different from other August Burns Red albums. I mean, you could look at like Phantom Anthem or something like this, and you could see like a similarity. Only the difference is, I remember Phantom Anthem had more diverse sounding songs than this album did. I remember, I remember a lot of August Burns Red's other songs, even Constellations, and those definitely had songs that sounded similar, but they were like different ideas. This one, I just don't feel like they did enough of that. So I'm still kind of maybe it'll grow on me, maybe it won't, but I have a feeling that it won't. It'll probably just be just a weaker effort, like compared to like Guardians and stuff. Maybe it'll appear in my top 25, maybe not as the year goes on, but I don't think this will appear in my top 25. This is just my opinion. I mean, we could get like a whole bunch of like bad albums next year or whatever. This year, like a whole lot of like disappointments this year because like if it would be funny to see Frostbit be the number one album of the year, even though I don't know. But I mean, Frostbit with Machine Destroy. Go check that album out. That's way better than this, in my opinion. Go check out the new Periphery. That's better. Even check out the new Haken album. I think that's really good. Better, way better than their last album, which honestly kind of sucked. Virus. That album was not very good at all. Like this one, Fauna is pretty good. That's another story for another day. Maybe I'll update you on more of that. Like I think that album is definitely very good, better than this. August Burns Red. I know Haken isn't metalcore, but I'm just saying recent stuff that's come out. I'm just saying that that album is better than the August Burns Red album in my personal opinion. So yeah, 6 to 7 out of 10 on this one. So what do you guys think? Leave all your comments in the comment section down below and stuff, and all that other stuff. This is Captain Wolf signing out. Take care.